Alright guys, time to be back again today. Hope you're enjoying your day so far. Today is Wednesday the 19th of August. This is the day that the Call of Duty Championship for the 2020 season kicks off on Modern Warfare, of course. The next 5 days, Wednesday through Sunday, is going to be the playoffs. Then the 4 teams will remain, go to the championship weekend next weekend, and well, compete for the World Championship title. Today we're going to talk about my predictions for this weekend, a lot of other things as well. Draftbuff also are doing their Bracket Royale and the Draft Royales, which I'll leave links down below for you guys if you want to join these last couple of hours before the weekend does kick off. Scrap says this as well, so 2 days before Champs and I found out about another glitch in domination, mind blown. Supposedly this is another kill cam thing, as Scraps goes on to say, as we pros are either forced to all cheat or, well, hope we can GA it and trust each other not to use it. What a year it has been. So supposedly something else been discovered. Definitely begs the question, right, have teams known about this for longer? I'm not exactly sure what this is or whether it's going to be too important this coming weekend, but yeah, still, the professional players not too happy about this one for sure. This is the bracket for this weekend, so 2 games go on tonight. That's OGLA versus LAG, Paris Legion versus the Seattle Surge as well. I imagine my predictions won't be too right for this one or for the entire bracket as a whole, but you guys may certainly have better luck in the comments section below. Let's talk about it then. So this is the bracket builder. Do not forget, if you guys have the best bracket this entire weekend, you're going to win $10,000. If you have the perfect bracket with all the proper match scores and everything, you're going to win 100 grand. And then, well, if you come the, get the correct bracket prediction on the Draftbuff Bracket Royale, then you win a CDL jersey as well. So what is not to love? Let's talk about these matches. First of all, let's start with the losers. The couple of games that are, well, not losers yet necessarily, but starting in the elimination bracket as they're calling it this year. These are the 2 games tonight. OGLA, LAG, I think this should be pretty clear-cut in theory. I think OGLA are a pretty solid team, looked better with Draza and Hollow in the squad as of late. I think that Slasher and Kenny are probably due to turn up now. It's Champs time, and I'm not sure if Slasher's moved to Texas, but supposedly he was considering that for better internet. Difficult when you're based in Cali. That's another, well, storyline I suppose we can discuss with the Paris Legion in a second here. But LAG, I think they're going to struggle in this one. I think that OGLA are going to win this probably in a 3-1. Maybe LAG take the second, well, the set map 2, Search and Destroy, but the domination has been pretty horrible for Gorillas all season long. I think that OGLA have enough to get the better of them here. Then you've got Legion versus Surge. Bad season for Surge, to be honest. Paris started off decent, kind of, well, they started off decent, fell off, kind of got better towards the end, had a good result of the London home series most recently as well, even beating, well, they beat New York 3-0 and everything in their most recent tournament that they played before they went to the grand finals, you know, beat London in game 5. Pretty impressive stuff. I think that again, Legion will have too much for the Surge, maybe a 3-1, maybe a 3-2, but Surge, yes, they've got apathy at Champs time. Slacked has been a good Champs player as well. Octane, of course, has been phenomenal for them in the entire season long, but they haven't got the job done. Panda and Proto, can they put together a series? I'm not so convinced, right? And Paris have been looking good as of late. I just don't think Surge have what it takes to get past them here. Paris and OGLA move on for me. Let's look at the winners bracket then. Subliners versus Rocker in this winners round 1. I think the Subliners should be too strong here. I mean, Rocker have made this change. Exceed comes in for GodRx. Is that even a good move, right? We can talk about that all day long, right? That seems questionable on paper. The coach has kind of made a decent argument, but certainly you get rid of some of your firepower. And you're looking at Subliners, which not only have they been grinding lately, but they've also got a hell of a lot of firepower on that squad, right? You've got Mac, who drops 1.2s. You've got Zuma getting better and better. Attaches like a 1.25 over his last 3 events. You know, Temps getting better towards the end of the season. Accuracy's there, being a solid AR as well and putting up numbers quite often on Ramaza. So yeah, certainly a tough series for Rocker. I honestly think Subliners come into this and just smoke them straight 3-0. Rocker's scrim supposedly been going well, but you know, every team says that. So I think Rocker are going to go down to losers here. Then you've got the other side, Ravens Ultra. I think this is a more interesting series. Frankly, I think that Ultra, obviously they did win the most recent event. They should be favourites coming into the series. They also have the potential, they have it in them to beat the other top teams. I don't think Ravens has that ability. Maybe they win 1 or 2 series here, even if they do go through winners, but at some point they're going to go down to losers. No question in my mind. For me, this could go game 5. Certainly, I think that Ravens on paper maybe have slightly better firepower, but the team cohesion of Ultra is going to be too strong for them. And also, you've got to consider clutch factor here. If it does come down to a game 5, does come down to a tight hardpoint, Ultra in the most recent event were the team that was winning all of those, and Ravens just haven't had good luck with that, well, the entire season long, to be honest. And, well, it's probably not luck at the end of the day, is it? So, Ultra, yes, certainly capping off that last event with that 1v2 win for Methods in the game 5. Ultra, favourites for me. They're going to win this in a clutch factor, but it is going to be a game 5. They move on. Then let's keep going through the winners. Huntsman, Subliners, the second series. Now, the last time these two teams played was in the grand final of the New York home series, and New York bopped them 3-0. Huntsman did beat them 3-2 earlier on in that tournament, but when it mattered, Subliners clutched up, and I can honestly see something similar happening again here. I'm not sure the Huntsman, well, it's not like they don't have their heads in the game, but it's an online champs. Maybe, you know, a lot of these guys, pretty much all of them, have done it all before. Maybe they don't feel quite the same drive that some of these other teams do right now. And Subliners coming off that victory in theory against the Rocker, maybe that momentum kind of brings in here. Obviously, it's a little bit different because it's on separate days. Maybe that doesn't matter so much. But last time these two teams played, Subliners got the better of them pretty comfortably indeed. I'm going to take Subliners winning this one again. It's something like a 3-1. Then again, I don't think Huntsmen are, out of the tournament by any means if they do lose this. I think they definitely have a losers bracket run in them. And to be honest, I'm only like 55% confident in this series prediction anyway. Huntsmen can certainly win this. And if they do win this, I think they honestly pose a greater threat against Atlanta FaZe than the New York Subliners do. A winners bracket run or a losers bracket run is certainly on the cards for the Huntsmen this tournament, I do believe. The other winners round 2, Mutineers Ultra. This is an interesting series. I mean, Ultra have done so well the most recent tournament. I mean, they beat Huntsmen in that kind of weird series where Pristini lagged out, but then they beat Dallas Empire, then they beat Atlanta FaZe. That was super impressive. Against the Mutineers, though, I'm not sure when the last time there was they played these guys, but Mutineers, you have to look back a long time, apart from like a London upset they had when they lost in Game 5 of the London home series. You have to look for a long time before that, before Mutineers lost to any team that wasn't the Dallas Empire, and because of that, I think the Mutineers should be favourites here. I think they're a very solid squad. Pharaoh has been very good at champs in the past, so I think that Ultra, this is the time that they drop down to losers. Let's keep going on the winners just before we drop down to the elimination bracket. FaZe Subliners, for me, they've played 4 times this season. FaZe have won every single time. Subliners, I think, have lost a 3-1, and then like all 3-2s the last time they have played. I imagine something similar happens here. FaZe are very, very good in the respawns, no doubt about that. So are Subliners, though. I think a Game 5 is definitely possible, and when it does go to Game 5, if it does, FaZe is the team that you just have to pick to clutch up here. They've done it like 3 times against New York in the past. Yes, New York are probably looking heavily into this matchup, but they have to get quite a long way anyway to get through to this point if they are to face FaZe. So, yeah, I just think the FaZe in terms of clutch factor, especially in this winners round 3, are going to have too much for the Subliners once again. And on pedigree, I'm going to expect that to happen. The other side of things, Empire Mutineers, they played, I think, 4 times in the most recent couple of events. Empire have won 3 out of those 4 times. One of them was a Game 5 loss to the Mutineers, and then the other times they've beaten them like 3-2, 3-1, 3-0. So on that metric, I'm going to say Dallas Empire are the favourites here. Yes, Mutineers are probably looking into exactly how they lost those recent events and, how they fell short to the Empire and trying to regain from that. However, Empire are probably doing a very similar thing and expecting this series once again against the Mutineers to match up. Empire seem to be the bogey team of Mutineers. I think that they're going to take this in a 3-1 fashion. That brings FaZe and Empire to the winners finals, which won't happen this weekend. That will happen next weekend if it does happen at the championship weekend. Just a few words on that. I predict if that does happen, Empire are actually going to lose that winners final to FaZe, but then come back to face them in the grand final and put up a much better fight, maybe even win the whole thing. But we'll talk about exactly how that happens next weekend, because I imagine there's going to be a lot of upsets here. It's champs, it's online, it's always craziness, there's always big upsets. I imagine some of the things I'm saying today will certainly not happen, and maybe I'll fall at the very first hurdle tonight. Let's look at losers then. Rocker OGLA. I think that OGLA will just about get past the Rocker, maybe in a 3-2. I think that, they're probably just about the stronger seeds. I mean, Rocker have lost, what have they lost? Like 8 series in a row coming into this tournament. This could be 9 and 10. Not out of the question by any means. Bit of drama here as well between Exceed and some of the OpTic guys a couple of weekends ago. Ravens Legion. Last time these two teams matched up, it was a 3-2 to the Paris Legion. That was pretty embarrassing for London, their home series, to be honest, losing to the Paris Legion at the time. This time, I think that Royal Ravens just maybe get the better of them in a Game 5. Something close. I think that Royal Ravens have a series win in them. This is going to be a tough one, though. Definitely could go the distance, especially if Paris Legion get a decent result against the Seattle Surge early on. But I don't think Ravens really get any further than that. They play the Huntsmen. This is where I believe the losers bracket run for the Huntsmen starts to kick in. Huntsmen are going to win this one a 3-1, something like that, as they've done a couple of times really against the Ravens earlier this season. Ultra OGLA, I think that OGLA just bow out here. Ultra have been very good. I just think they're a really, really solid, cohesive squad that maybe OGLA don't have together quite yet. And they did win the last event. We can't take that away from the Ultra by any means. I think that even if they do lose to the Mutineers, which is certainly possible, they drop down and beat OGLA in this one. Then let's finish off here with elimination round 4. Subliners versus Ultra. I think Subliners probably are just about too strong for the Ultra in this one. Could certainly be a Game 5, maybe a Game 4, though I think that, to be honest, like Ultra's hardpoint might have a tough time keeping up with the Subliners. And, they won so many clutch hardpoints when they happened to win their own home series. I think that maybe New York just have too much for them here. Then Mutineers Huntsmen. I imagine Huntsmen's, losers bracket run continues. I think it's going to take some clutch factor for the Huntsmen to beat out the Mutineers in this one, but they definitely have that clutch factor when it's required. Losers bracket run, I think, does come alive here, and Mutineers bow out of the tournament here. That leaves us with the winners finals being, let me just scroll onto this side of the screen, Atlanta FaZe, Dallas Empire, and the losers bracket being Subliners Huntsman. That's my prediction for how it goes, but certainly a lot could change. We're going to do another prediction video, of course, when all of this does clear the air in a few days time here. So these are the timings for tonight: 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. British Summer Time. That's Legion versus Surge kicks off. OGLA LAG just finishing after that, or just starting after that. The matches should finish at 11 p.m. my time, which probably gives me room to actually do the recap video, just after the matches begin. If that's possible, if the matches don't overrun too much, that's what I'm going to aim for, and then maybe a video tomorrow as well. But yeah, definitely something to keep in mind. And a similar thing will probably be happening on the Thursday and the Friday as well. 2 matches a day for the next 3 days. Then at the weekend, we have 4 matches on the Saturday, as you can see on the screen. 4 matches on Sunday once again. This is the bracket on the whole. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like if you did, subscribe if you're new as always. Very intrigued to hear your thoughts on this one down in the comment section below. Who do you think is going to take home the entire thing, and what do you think the bracket looks like for this weekend? Thanks to Midnight.com as well. Thank you for 25,000 subscribers. Truly unbelievable stuff. And I will see you next time.